Sometimes life feels like a long and winding path through familiar woods, and yet, just when we think we know the trail by heart, we glance behind us and realize how far we've come. The years, once slow and stretching wide, now seem to slip by quietly, like pages turning in a well-loved book. We hold so many memories and of laughter, of love, of loss, and we carry the weight of moments we didn't understand until much later. There are certain lessons that time teaches us only when the noise has quieted, when the children are grown, when the house is still, and we're left with our thoughts and the gentle hum of our own hearts. Lessons we wish we'd learned earlier, not because we regret everything, but because we now see more clearly what truly mattered. Maybe you've had moments like that too. Sitting by the window with a warm cup of tea, remembering something you once rushed through, or words you now wish you'd said. That tender ache of wisdom, it's something many of us come to know with age, and yet it's never too late to feel it, to reflect on it, and to share it. In this video, I want to gently walk with you through 5 powerful life lessons that so many of us only truly understand in our later years. Not to dwell on the past, but to find peace in it, and maybe even healing. If you've ever felt that quiet pull of reflection deep in your heart, I invite you to stay. Let's take this journey together. When we're young, time feels like it stretches forever. There's always another day, another season, another chance. We fill our calendars with work, appointments, goals, and plans. We chase dreams, build homes, raise families, all the while thinking we're doing the most important thing. And we are, in many ways. But what we don't see, not fully, is what we're spending in exchange. Time. We don't always notice that we're trading the most precious thing we have. Not money, not success, but the simple, irreplaceable minutes of our lives. We hurry through breakfasts, miss sunsets, silence phone calls, and push aside laughter, thinking we'll get to it later. But later has a way of turning into years. And one day we find ourselves sitting still, remembering the moments we sped past, and wondering why we didn't slow down sooner. Now, in this quieter chapter, I've come to see that time is the real wealth. It's in the quiet morning light falling on the kitchen floor. It's in the stories shared at the dinner table. It's in the way a loved one smiles just because you're there. These little moments, the ones we used to call small, are, in truth, the biggest gifts we're ever given. If I could speak to my younger self, I wouldn't tell them to work harder. I'd tell them to look up, to breathe, to sit longer with those they love. But I also know this: it's not too late. We still have this moment, and maybe, just maybe, that's enough. There's a quiet kind of pain that comes with looking back and realizing how pride crept in and built walls where there could have been bridges. I think many of us have had moments where we stayed silent, when we should have spoken, or walked away when we should have reached out. At the time, it felt like we were protecting ourselves. But looking back, it often feels more like we were protecting our pride, not our peace. I can still remember conversations I never finished, apologies I never offered, hugs I held back, not because I didn't care, but because something inside me said, wait, they should come to you, or they don't understand you anyway. And with that, time passed, and those small silences became wide spaces. Sometimes those people are no longer with us. Sometimes they are, but the distance has grown too deep. Pride is a strange thing. It wears many faces: strength, self-respect, even wisdom. But underneath, it can keep us from the very things we need most: connection, healing, softness. And often we don't see it clearly until the noise fades and we're left alone with what we didn't say. But here's the gift of age. We still have the choice. Even now we can soften. We can call someone, write a letter, offer a simple "I miss you" or "I'm sorry." And even if that person can't hear it anymore, saying it out loud still matters. It's a release, a return to peace. The older I get, the more I believe in letting go of pride and reaching for love instead. Because in the end, it's not about being right. It's about being whole. The body is such a faithful companion. It carries us through every season, through youth, through parenthood, through work and worry and wonder. But it also speaks to us. Not in loud cries at first, but in whispers. A little stiffness in the morning, a flutter in the chest when we're tired, a headache that always comes when stress lingers too long. These are its ways of saying, please, slow down, listen to me. But when we're younger, we often don't. We push through. We brush it off. We say, I'm fine. Because there's always something to do, someone to take care of, somewhere to be. The body keeps whispering, gently, patiently, until one day it has no choice but to shout. I've known many friends, and maybe you have too, who wish they had listened sooner, who say, I should have stretched more, eaten better, rested more. And not just for the sake of living longer, but for the quality of living well, comfortably, peacefully, with ease in their steps and less pain in their days. But here's something I hold close. It's never too late to show kindness to your body. Even now, with aching joints or slower movements, we can still offer it care. A gentle walk in the fresh air, a warm bath at the end of the day, a few extra sips of water, a good night's sleep. These are not small things. They are love in action. Your body has walked every step of your life with you, and it deserves your gentleness. It deserves your listening. It deserves your thanks. As I sit with all the years behind me, one thing rises above the rest like a warm light at the end of the day. Love. Not the kind you read about in books or see in movies, but the real, steady kind. The kind that shows up in daily life. A warm meal shared. A hand held during a doctor's visit. A child's voice on the phone. Love, in its quietest forms, is the most lasting thing we ever give. We spend so much of our younger years chasing success, promotions, trophies, recognition. And those things have their place. But when you reach this part of life, it becomes clear. They fade. Plaques collect dust. Titles get forgotten. But the people you loved, and who loved you, they remember how you made them feel. They remember your laughter, your kindness, your presence. And that brings me to one of the most tender lessons of all. Being present is more powerful than being perfect. I used to think I had to get everything right, be the perfect parent, the ideal spouse, the flawless friend. But now I know, being there, really there, matters so much more. You don't need grand gestures. You don't need perfect words. Just your presence, your time, your heart. So if you're ever doubting your worth or feeling like you didn't do enough, let that go. You showed up. You loved. You mattered. And that is everything. As we come to the end of this quiet reflection, I want to leave you with this. Life doesn't ask us to be without mistakes. It asks us to keep learning. And sometimes the most powerful learning comes later, when we're no longer rushing, when the noise has softened, and when we finally have the time to sit with our hearts and truly listen. Yes, some lessons come too late to change the past, but they arrive just in time to change how we see ourselves today. They invite us to be gentler, to forgive ourselves, to let go of old stories that no longer serve us, and to pass on something wiser to those who follow behind us. You are still writing your story, and there is so much beauty left in this chapter. Whether you reach out to someone you've missed, care for your body with new tenderness, or simply take a moment to breathe and appreciate the life you've lived, know this: it matters. You matter. Thank you for sharing these quiet moments with me today. I hope they've brought you peace, and if they've stirred something in your heart, a memory, a tear, a little warmth, then maybe that too is part of the lesson. Take care, dear friend. Until next time.